Hi everyone, welcome to the Icehouse Podcast. Thank you so much for being with us today. Today we're with Nicole Buisson. She has just joined the Icehouse board in May 2021, so we're honoured to have her part of the team, and today we are talking to her about her experience and what it's like now being on the team here at the Icehouse. So welcome Nicole, thanks for being with us.
Kia ora, Bryar. Thanks for having me along.
Yeah, no worries. So those that listen probably know that I really enjoy starting with some good quick fire questions. So first things first, what is your coffee order?
Flat white or a green juice?
Oh, nice. I like that. That's good. Morning or night person?
Both. I was a night owl until I had kids.
Yeah, good call. Any morning routine? I'm a sucker for a good morning routine.
I guess I just like to wake up naturally. Like if I can sleep till that point, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's a win. That is a life win. Okay, nice. Favorite meal?
Anything veggie?
Cool, good. Favorite place in the world?
Look, I have too many. I love to explore, but places by the sea, big cities, new places, or home.
Yeah, great. Love that. And when you're not working, how do you like to spend your time?
Look, I have 3 kids, so they keep me pretty busy. But I guess otherwise, skiing, scuba diving, exploring.
Awesome. That's really cool. Okay, what is a book that you would recommend people should read?
I went with a poem here, actually. There's a great poem called Desiderata by Max Ehrmann, which has some great sort of life lessons in it, I would say. I also have the Netflix culture book at the moment, which I've just started to read.
Oh, yeah, cool. I've heard good things about that too. So nice work. And first ever job?
Well, my first ever job was at the Warranty Fitness Vehicle Testing Station in Dunedin.
Oh, wow.
Issuing warranty fitnesses. So, and then I guess first real job was in San Francisco working for a startup back in '99.
Wow, that's amazing. I love that. I always like hearing the first job because it's sort of like, everyone's going to start somewhere. So it's always inspiring. Yeah, it's good. Nice. The quick fire questions, you nailed that. Quick fire. It was good. We got into it. So we're going to dive a bit deeper now with our podcast questions. So Nicole, walk us through your career to date. We'd love to hear about it.
Yeah, so as well as sitting on the Icehouse board at the moment, I'm currently Chief Customer Officer at a fast growth Airtree Ventures-backed scale-up called Open Insurance. So we're essentially digitizing the world of insurance.
Awesome.
We're B Corp and have some neat products like pay-as-you-drive car insurance. So all those days you are sitting at home in COVID not driving, you wouldn't have to pay.
Yeah.
I also do some board work at the moment with the Icehouse and some other businesses as well, both the small businesses as well as larger businesses. So I like to balance both of those things.
Awesome.
In terms of my career before that, look, I've had quite a vast career across both corporate, working with SMEs, working with scale-ups. I like all kinds of different things. Also spent some time working in private equity and venture capital investment, which obviously is very important to the Icehouse as well.
Totally. Yeah, that's great. And so a bit of overseas work as well. I've got here San Fran, Hong Kong. Yeah. Is that right?
It is. Yeah. So I'm a Kiwi, but have been home 6 years. So I spent 17 years before that away across the States, Europe and Asia.
Wow, that's cool, and some amazing experience for you to bring back to your hometown, which is amazing. Homeland.
Absolutely.
Awesome. I quite like this next question. What role taught you the most?
Look, I think they've all been a learning journey, and life is a learning journey, I think. So I've done lots of different sort of functional roles, across strategy or marketing or sales. So always learning.
Yeah, that's great. That's awesome. Cool. What motivates you to get up in the morning?
Look, there's a couple of things. Probably growing businesses. So I think are exciting. Someone once said to me, make sure you join a growing industry. Secondly, probably great people to work with. We want to go somewhere where we have great people to work with or work remotely via Zoom, etc. Great culture. So I think culture is so important. And then I guess finally an ability to get on with stuff without barriers and the word no. So the word no is not very motivating for me.
No, that's true. Awesome. Great answer. Cool. So when did you first hear of the Icehouse? So obviously you've had quite a lot to do with the startup space. When did you first hear of the Icehouse and then the opportunity to come on to our board come about?
I think I've always known about the Icehouse, but probably started to interact a bit more 6 years ago when I got home to New Zealand.
Yeah.
I took a role then at Vodafone, and one of the first things I did there was to set up a startup accelerator at Vodafone called the Vodafone Zone. And I hired a guy out of the Icehouse by the name of Kevin Park to run that accelerator down in Christchurch. And Andy Hamilton graciously agreed to that. I guess, I'm very aware as a result of the really high caliber of the people that are at the Icehouse. I also sat on the Government Small Business Council together with Deb Shepherd, who teaches many of your courses, and also Andy Hamilton.
Awesome.
And then have gotten to know some of the board more recently, Wendy Kerr, and it's been really great to get to know Gavin Lennox and the rest of the board since joining.
Yes, that's cool. And it's interesting, when way back, I think it may have been my first podcast, but when I interviewed Gavin, he said the same. He went to work overseas. He then came back to New Zealand and decided the Icehouse was a good place to network with other business owners and leaders, and sort of get back into the New Zealand business network. So sort of similar, journey of getting to know the Icehouse.
Yeah, look, absolutely. And I think everyone interacts with it in some way. I've been to so many Icehouse events, but even I think, some of the other parents at school are sort of, investors in Icehouse funds, etc. So everyone touches the Icehouse in some way.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love to hear that. Cool. What makes our organization's mission powerful for you?
Look, I think it's that point that the Icehouse is the one organisation in New Zealand that most startups, scale-ups or growing SMEs touch at some point, whether it's through an event, through a course, through receiving some financing. And, it's a really powerful brand in that startup, scale-up, SME growth segment.
Yeah, great. That's awesome.
And then maybe, just one thing to add is, I really believe that life is about, the people that you meet along the way and the things that you can create together with them. The Icehouse is really a place where lots of things are created, which is really as well. Yeah,
so true. And it's so people focused, whether it's a bold startup founder or a gritty business owner that has been in it for years and years, or maybe it's a family business and it's a well-established business. I think the Icehouse, what I love about it is it really does care about the people and the people behind those businesses. So
yes,
totally agree. That's cool. What do you plan on bringing to the Icehouse?
So I guess the Icehouse has two parts to the business. There's obviously the venture side, and then there's the growth side. And my background spans both of those. So working with, fast growth venture-backed scale-ups and startups, but also that sort of core SME growth area. So as I mentioned, I sat on Minister Nash's Small Business Council. We worked on a strategy for that sort of particular piece of the market in New Zealand, as well as spending some time at Xero that's very focused on small business growth.
Yeah, totally. Your experience and your jobs you've had in the past really link so well with the role. So yeah, definitely agree. That's awesome. Cool. What is the current challenge SMEs seem to be facing at the moment? Do you have any insight there?
Yeah, look, I spent quite a bit of time working at Xero, and we used to talk then about the single biggest challenge that SMEs have is getting their time back. And they want their time back to either spend with their families or to work on growing their businesses. And so I think, the biggest challenge is how do we help SMEs to get their time back by being more productive? So, that could be through access to capital, it could be through capability building, or it could be simply, helping them with the tech that they use to get to productivity and get that time back.
Yeah, so true. So many of our business owners, they're just desperate to have a better balance and to get their time back. Busy business owners. So 100% agree. That's great. Cool. With your travel and your overseas work experience, is there anything New Zealand seems to be behind in now?
Look, I'm an optimist, so I prefer to think about things that we can do well that set us apart rather than the things we're maybe missing out on. So things like, we've got a space economy here in New Zealand, our flora and fauna, the natural foods that we have that people abroad love, a strong ESG focus, or, also we've got a really strong focus on diversity in New Zealand. So, compared to other markets, I think we've got a really nice balance. But that said, we also need to interact with the rest of the world to survive. You know, we're a small market, so we have to export and think about those international markets. It does feel a bit strange at the moment, you know, not having traveled further than Australia for a year and a bit though, I must say, and so it'll be interesting to see, you know, how that all works when the world opens up.
Yeah, totally. I know we're all very much aware of what's going on, but it is definitely different times. And I've been at a few events lately for the Icehouse, and just that importing and exporting and supply chain is just so tough at the moment. And so, it's working out how we can break through, and obviously some big challenges going on there. But we do have so much to give internationally. So completely agree. That's awesome. Cool. What's a piece of advice you'd give a business owner of a small, medium-sized company in New Zealand now?
Look, I would say you're the engine of our economy. You know, 97% of our businesses are SMEs, so keep it up.
Great.
And also, if you need assistance, there's so many resources out there. You know, we've got a really engaged government in this area. We have organisations, businesses like the Icehouse that are offering great, you know, capability building and funding. So you know, seek help and advice.
Yeah, that's great advice. That's awesome. Cool. What excites you most about the future of New Zealand business?
Okay, I think it would be, again, those things that we do really well. You know, we don't have to replicate Silicon Valley down here. You know, we can do things differently. Like, I think, you know, we were the first country in the world to give women the vote, right? We're not afraid to do things differently. So how do we take, you know, what we have today and scale it internationally in a uniquely New Zealand way?
That's cool. It reminds me of Liz. You know Liz Wotherspoon. She heads up growth. Yeah. She's like, why would I travel from New York to Piha and try bring, you know, New York to New Zealand? Like, if I'm going to travel across the other side of the world, it can't be the same. And yeah, it's true. Like, every place that we're in just has unique points, and we can't just try bring, you know, what we've had in one place to another place, because it doesn't always work like that. You have to work out what our unique thing is and then bring that to the world. So completely agree. That's really cool. Awesome. Finishing on a fun note, what is an interesting fact about you that maybe not many people know?
Maybe one about my kids. They have 3 passports. So French,
3 passports?
Yes, French, English, and New Zealand. So,
oh, wow. That's cool.
Small beings.
Yeah, that's awesome. And whereabouts are you guys based? Are you in Auckland or?
Yes, we are. We live in Devonport in Auckland, which I love because it's so close to the water.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, awesome. Thank you so much, Nicole. You are amazing, and already bringing so much to the Icehouse. Your experience is so well aligned. And so we're very lucky to have you part of the board, and looking forward to the good work we all do together in the future.
Great to chat, Bryar.